There's no doubt about it, I think, that the Gospel of Mark is the most dramatic of all the Gospels and the most graphic. Dramatic and graphic, I think, is probably the proper language. We have this scene today of a man who has both an impediment in his speech and a difficulty in hearing. Of course, the two go together. We do speak in the parlance of our mother tongue. In other words, we're resting on our mother's breasts and we hear her speak, and that's the way we learn our language. We learn language through hearing. If you want to pick up a new language, all the experts say you've got to be able to hear the language. And so this guy has this tremendous disability of hearing and problem in speech. The crowd and the disciples, interestingly enough, say, Jesus, can you place your hands on his head? Can you lay your hands on his head? And Jesus takes him aside in private and then spits on his fingers and puts his finger into his tongue and then puts his fingers into his ears. It's most graphic. Most hygienists wouldn't agree with the behaviour of Jesus, but that's what happens, and the man then receives the healing. And so God has really got skin in the game. That's the message that I think we should take away from this, that he's not just content with laying his hands on. He wants to get right in there in the midst of humanity, physically mixing it up with us. So we are, as we know, spirit, soul and body, and Christ wants to enter every aspect of our life. There's no doubt about it, and he does. And this is what this scene is telling us. Now that's the cue, I think, for us as well as baptised Christians. We need to have skin in the game. We've got to get our hands dirty. It's all very well for us to talk about trying to help the poor or help those that are in need, but exactly what are we doing in a sort of a hands-on approach to try and help people? It may be that there's somebody in our workplace who just simply needs to talk, and we instead of taking our lunch break, we actually take some time to listen to them, and this may be the conversation that really helps them be liberated, or at least sets them on the path to liberation. It may be that we come across a homeless person, and that's increasing everywhere, but it also in a dramatic effect in our own country. And we take a bit of time just to get to know the name of this homeless person, rather than just simply give them a bit of money. We actually try to get to know their name so we can set up a relationship with them, which again may be a turning point in their life. So Jesus' example here in what he does with this man with this terrible affliction, I think is a wonderful scene to pray through, but then it's a wonderful scene to say, now what can I do with all the host of modern problems that we've got? The greatest problem that we seem to have, according to Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta, is loneliness. And that is a real problem. And so that is a cue, I think, for saying, right, let's make some movements here in creating communities where people feel loved and they feel like they belong to the community, so that they then get a sense of their own human dignity. There's much to do, but each of us can make a major difference by having this skin in the game, which will make a big difference to people's lives.